Howdy y'all, my name is Sam Rosie and today I'm going to be talking about traffic pattern operations. So let's get started here. So let's say we got a runway, right? And we're just going to work with a small little runway, uncontrolled field, And we're working with runway 9er and runway 27, right? And let's talk about this traffic pattern real quick. So you got your upwind leg right here, and then you got your crosswind. You got your downwind, all this downwind, and then here's your base, and then here's your final. So let me label these real quick. Upwind, here's your upwind right here. Here's your crosswind. And then you're on a left downwind. And then we got our base. And finally, we got final, so. All right, now let's say how are we gonna get into this pattern, right? So let's say, there's actually three ways to get into this pattern. So let's say we're up here. Here's our little airplane. And we're north of the field. How are we gonna get in here? So 3 different ways are gonna be the teardrop pattern. And then the other way is we're gonna overfly midfield and enter left downwind. Left downwind. Oh, I can't spell away. And then we're gonna do a right on the 45. 45 left downwind. So I'm gonna show you what each of those look like. So for the teardrop pattern, we're gonna overfly midfield. 500 feet above traffic pattern. And then we're going to go approximately 2.5 miles out. So 2 away from field. So right here, 2.5 miles away from the field, and then we're going to start that descent. We're going to descend into traffic pattern. So let's say the traffic pattern is pattern altitude. Pattern altitude is 1,500 feet, so 1,500. And so right here, we're overflying the field at 2,000. So overflying the field at 2,000. And then we're going to descend down to 1,500. And then right here's the 45. Enter the 45 right here. 45. And then we're going to enter the downwind, and then we're going to, while we're doing all this, we're announcing our calls on non-towered at a non-towered field. Midfield left down is pretty much the same thing without the teardrop, basically. So we're going to, let me use a different color, if I can. Color. All right, he's pink. So we're overflying here, and then if you know there's not any traffic in the pattern whatsoever, I would recommend doing this to save time and money. And you just enter right here. That's a midfield left downwind. All right, now 45, also a great way to get into the pattern. So I'm gonna use red. Is this red? Yep. So let's say I'm over here somewhere. Here's my plane. Let me draw a plane. There, right here. And we don't want to overfly midfield for some reason. So we're going to just go on the downwind. So just a 45-degree downwind. So that's how you enter a non-tower field. So now that I've explained to y'all how to enter the pattern, you're probably thinking to yourself, how in the world do I leave this place? It's a great question. So let's say we have our 1,000 footers right here. We're on the runway. And we take off runway 27. And once we get to pattern altitude, we get 500 feet above pattern altitude. And we make that final call to other aircraft that we're leaving their airspace. Next, we want to turn onto our heading to our home airport or to wherever we're going. And that's how you leave the pattern, right? So now I'm going to quickly go over towered field operations. So in a towered field, you're basically, before you even get into the airspace, you want to get their weather and information. And then basically tower just gives you all the directions for where you're going, each leg you're on, and how to get into their airspace, and just following their rules is all. So thank y'all for watching.